Hello there.
Hi there.
Another week.
You're
5 more
back.
movies.
5?
It was 5.
Felt more.
Believe it was 5.
Did we have a good week of movies?
You know what? I don't think we had the worst week of movies. I think I thought all of these movies ranged from fine to really good. So, I'd say that's successful. Well, I think the first movie we're going to talk about you enjoyed pretty well.
Start us out.
We watched Predator Badlands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
love the
liked that
Predator
movie.
series.
See, I'm an Alien girly, but admittedly, as of recent, the Predator stuff has been much better than the Alien stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think our post-podcast celebrations should be original Predator. I love that movie.
I've never seen the original Predator.
I've never seen the second one, but I'm pretty sure the first Predator movie I saw was Alien versus Predator. Fucking love that movie.
I've never seen Alien versus Predator
It's
either.
not great.
I bet the Alien wins.
Bullshit.
The Alien
Predator all
would
day.
win. No, Team Alien.
But yes, we've got a youngster, I guess, Predator looking to prove himself to the tribe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, the protagonist was the Predator. And now the only other Predator thing that I've seen is that animated movie that came out earlier in the year. I think it was Killer of Killers.
Yes, I liked that one. That was a really cool story that they added to the universe, and I think they're going to keep tying that into other works in the future.
Yeah, I liked that one a lot too. Mild spoilers, but at the end of the movie, when the ship came in, I was really hoping it was their ship because I think they were stealing a ship and getting away at the end of that movie, but it was not.
I'm sure we'll see those characters again, if not in a live version, probably another animated one, possibly.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I'm sure they're gonna get over at, Hulu and Disney and all that. I'm sure they're trying to get Dan Trachtenberg and Noah Hawley in a room together to get a new Alien Predator thing going.
Absolutely. Same universe, there's a lot of material to pull from. And I think, especially the guy they've given the Predator franchise to, he's done a really good job. We need to watch Prey as
we
well.
do.
'Cause that one was highly acclaimed, wasn't it?
Yeah, people really loved Prey. And the gal in that's Amber Midthunder, I really like her. She was in actually Noah Hawley's X-Men show, Legion.
Oh, Legion. I never saw that. How was Legion?
I really liked Legion. I really liked the X-Men.
Geesh, how long ago was that? What year did that come out? That went over my head.
I think I was in college when that came out. A lot of people didn't pay much attention to it, which is wild because, I mean, the cast was great. It was like Dan Stevens, Aubrey Plaza, and Gene Smart.
Oh, wow.
Doing like 3 seasons of television together.
I had no idea.
And, the guy from...
Who's Dan Stevens?
Oh, he was in Downton Abbey. He was the one who, spoilers for Downton Abbey, was like going to go see his new baby and then got in a car crash and died, and then he went to go do Legion. And the guy from Midnight Mass, the preacher guy, he is kind of one of the more villainy characters in Legion. I loved Legion. Too bad that pilot didn't have a director.
Especially like a few of the other X-Men movies.
Yeah, just like X-Men's 1 through 3 and Days of Future Past. No directors for any of them.
I'll get us back to the Predator movie we actually watched, but I maintain X2, X-Men United, is the best of the franchise.
Days of Future Past is the best superhero movie of all time.
You've just been wrong on a number of occasions tonight.
You've never seen it. I've seen X2, and X2 is a great movie. I love X2, but Days of Future Past is better.
So, get our youngster...
Dick.
Predator, Deck, training with, I think it was his older brother.
Yeah, his
doing
brother.
Predator stuff, being badasses, got their cool laser swords, all their different Predator tools, showing they're both really, I guess, trained war. I think the stunt work movie or the motion capture, however, looked really good.
Yeah, I'm under the impression that was an actor with like
Prosthetics and
prosthetics.
stuff, yeah.
And then of course some digital manipulation there. Specifically, I think the mouth. There was a lot of CGI going on in the mouth area.
I love their mouths, the like little, I don't know, extendy bits.
Yeah.
That's fun. So cool. Like 8-year-old.
You were watching that at 8 years old?
Maybe 10, I'm not sure.
That feels too young.
Oh, that was the perfect time.
Like, I watched Alien when I was like 16.
That's probably an appropriate age
Yeah,
to watch
I
that
think
movie,
so.
for sure.
But yeah, Deck, his dad just hates him. He's like, "You are weak. Get out of here."
This really should not have been a father immediately.
No.
No, he's too small. He has to die.
Yeah.
The brother ain't about that, so he fights the dad. And I guess Deck's motivation is, I'm going to go to this kind of hunting world to get a trophy, and that will show dad.
I halfway thought that the ending of the movie would have the same twist ending as Planet of the Apes, where it's like, it's actually Earth. That didn't happen, but I thought for a second they were going to try that. And then he meets Elle Fanning, who is one of the robots from Alien.
A synthetic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I thought that was really cool. Like, we're essentially confirming that we're bridging that gap.
With the Weyland-Yutani Corporation shows up. I think is the main corporation in the Alien movie. One of the Alien Earth.
Yeah.
That we've seen.
Yeah, because we
really tie that in.
Yeah, we really saw more of the corporate goings on in Alien Earth, and this was kind of continuing that.
I thought Elle Fanning did a great job of this.
She was great.
Quirky, just robot, but trying to understand human emotions. I thought that was portrayed really well.
I love Oscar nominee Elle Fanning.
Was she nominated?
Sentimental Value.
Oh, this year. Okay, that's right.
Yeah. And then she played 2 characters as well.
Did she get nominated before her older sister?
Yeah, Dakota's never been nominated. Dakota's been nominated at the Emmys.
But yes, she is half a robot being carried around for most of this movie, but helping our Predator protagonists stay alive. I thought all the different creatures they encountered in this very hostile world were interesting and very creative.
Yeah.
Then we get essentially his little pet looking golem starts following him around. Love that little guy.
Oh, what did they end up naming him? Bud.
Bud, yes.
Bud.
Bud's like a baby of the creature that the Predator is trying to hunt. They end up joining forces and fighting the corporation instead. The story with the others, with the kind of decrepit face, that pair.
Yeah, I agree. And even though they're synthetic, you're getting these very distinct personalities from them.
Agreed.
And I think the synthetics are really, really interesting. We got that in Alien Romulus as well with the guy from Industry.
Yeah.
I really
him in that movie too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one as well. I really like seeing that being explored more.
Yeah.
But Alien Earth, hit and miss for me.
I agree. Back to Predator again.
I will keep bringing up the aliens.
The story was fine overall. It's the Predator going on his hunt and finding new friends and allies and takes his revenge on his dad when he goes back to his planet. They're doing some sequel baiting with, I guess he said it was his mom showing up
Yeah.
now in her big ship. So we'll next for this. I don't know if I guess you'd call it a new chapter in the franchise overall. They've got a few different things going, I suppose.
Probably because,
We never know what timeline we're in. You know?
yeah, with Killer of Killers, at the end, we saw the gal from Prey, like in one of those, cryogenic chamber type things. But here, I really saw more crossovers to Alien than I did Predator. But I am not very knowledgeable in a lot of the Predator lore, just some of the newer stuff. When do you think Arnold's gonna show up in one of these?
I have been wondering what mental gymnastics they are going to do to hold Arnold's franchise. Because I would assume maybe they go with the story of in the universe, whenever a person kills one of the predators really take interest, and then they capture them training.
Mhm.
So I'm assuming they're going to try to get back into facing a narrative, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, that would be cool.
I thought it was interesting. They were picking up different.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool.
They could go a lot of different ways with this. Excited to see what comes next.
Maybe they're gonna go for Deck and Elle Fanning and Bud. You know who
That's
else
true.
should be there? Snakey.
Oh, Snakey gave its life. Deck.
I loved Snakey.
Snakey was very useful in that fight.
Mm-hmm. It's the only
Bud's
thing
cuter,
we
though.
really got to see of Snakey. I disagree. Yeah,
like
that's
spitting acid or something.
That's what I've named it. I don't know what its real name was.
Rip Snakey.
But Snakey
He was a real one.
was a real one. I was so sad. I was like, Snakey's gone, the movie's over. I had Snakey for a solid 10 minutes. And
Snakey was a hero.
mm-hmm.
I liked this movie. I'd give it, let's say, an 85.
An 85?
I'm a little biased, like I said, because I like this franchise.
No, that's fair. I think this was good. I do think I liked Killer of Killers more.
Okay.
I definitely liked Alien Romulus more. But this was better than Alien Earth. So,
If I recall, one of the last Predator movies was called Predators. I don't think it was very good. So I think they're trying to maybe reboot this franchise a little bit.
yeah. 78. That's what I would give this movie personally.
Okay, I'm going to say I'm close.
You're probably closer.
I'm right.
86% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I claim victory on this one. Good movie. If you like Predator or this franchise, or just kind of the universe with alien, cool sci-fi stuff, this is a fun movie.
Yeah, I think even if you're an alien girly, you'll enjoy this one because there really is. I mean, it's the same universe.
And I appreciated overall, this kind of got to the point pretty quickly. It didn't link the familial motivations of the character. It touched upon it at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're watching a Predator movie, you want to see the Predator cool and having fun with the action. I think this aced that very.
Yeah, I agree. It was well paced. I guess sometimes I wanted the fights or the world to look a little cooler.
Fair enough, yeah.
Or like more practical.
It did kind of look all the same after a little while.
Yeah.
It's all CGI anyways.
Exactly. And we'll see if we get a third one. We'll see if this made the money to get that movie number 3.
We'll see what happens.
I would say regardless, we'll still get more at least animated content.
Definitely.
Yeah. Predator Badlands.
Check it out.
Yeah, I'll give it a worth the hype as far as
Same.
I don't think anyone is going to go into this and just think it's trash, you know?
Yeah, this was not a bad movie.
No, even if you're not really a Predator person, I think you can still get into it and have fun.
Movie number 2.
Marty Supreme, starring Timothy Chalamet himself. How do you feel about Timothy Chalamet?
There's just something about him that bugs me. I don't know what it is. I'm going to be possibly divisive, say him getting into that Kardashian clan is a red flag.
Oh, it is.
Therefore, I get to have a negative view of him, and this is how I rationalize it. I thought this movie was fine. He gave a really good performance.
He's going to win the Oscar.
I'm going to the opposition. I'd rather see it go to honestly Wagner this year. That'd be great.
I think the win for Wagner Moura is the nomination.
True.
And then The Secret Agent got into Best Picture as well. Like, I think that's the win there. And it's going to win international. So, that's cool.
Mm-hmm. For a movie that is called Marty Supreme, which is the name they have on the tennis ball, I believe.
The tennis ball?
Long ball, excuse
me. This isn't Challengers, as much as I wish that it was.
I think my subconscious just wishes this was Challengers. But at any rate, we didn't have enough table tennis, in my opinion. I wanted to see a montage of him going crazy at championship after championship. That was the fun parts.
Oh, yeah. Movie. The first, what was it, like hour or so?
Mm-hmm.
Where he's going to the table tennis like tournament in London, I believe.
Yes.
And trying to make his way there.
I think most invested during this part.
Me too. That whole time I was sitting there and I was thinking, man, is this going to be my favorite movie of the year? Is this going to be like another Whiplash? I love movies like that about people who are just so driven to do one thing that they are just get completely self-destructive and toxic, like Whiplash, like Black Swan. And that's the direction I thought it was going. And I loved it. And then we just kind of got off track.
It started to waver a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, because like you said, I was having a great time with all of the ping pong tournaments and competition and all of that. And I almost wanted the whole movie to be that. But then he's kind of going off on tangents. And I know that it's all so that he can get the money, so that he can go to Japan and compete. And that's why. But like, I don't really care about him getting chased by a bunch of rednecks and putting his friend in danger and putting the mother of his child in danger. And then, speaking of child, I'm just going to go straight to the ending.
Go for it.
With my thought. I don't understand what the point of the ending was. Because I know in the opening sequence, we see him conceiving a child. They make it very clear that it's his kid.
I think this movie was immediately ruined for me, and I think I said it at the time.
You did?
The fact that they had to do some animation, here's some Chalamet sperm floating all over your screen. I wanted to throw up, and that immediately dropped this movie to 1 star for me.
Well, he goes throughout the movie, once he finds out that Tallulah from I Love LA is pregnant and she says it's his, which I'm kind of with him. I don't know how she would know that it was his
She is married already,
because she
yes.
is married. Now the movie makes it very clear that it's his,
Right.
as mentioned from the sperm scene. But yeah, I understand that thought process of, is that even mine? Because yeah, she's married. Yeah, by the end of the movie, he wins the match and then he comes home and it's like he's ready to step up and be a father.
Right.
What did he accomplish his great ping pong dream? And now he's like, now I can do this. He didn't even really technically achieve the ping pong dream. It was more like just personal glory and validation.
Exactly. He didn't actually win the big championship in Japan that he went there for. So, in my mind, I was thinking, well, he's just going to get right back at to working himself up to that championship again. This is all like temporary. Sort of my impression at the end.
Also, what was up with him immediately zeroing in on Gwyneth Paltrow? Was he like, I'm gonna take her money? Does he just like that she'd be like a status symbol?
I think part of this character is not only that he's a huge narcissist, but he's kind of a swindler. He
Yeah.
schemes. That's how he's trying to obtain his goal, yes, but he kind of screws over almost everyone in his life. He almost can't help himself.
I'm thinking about it now. I don't think there was a single person in this movie that he didn't screw over.
But you're right. He zeroes in on Gwyneth Paltrow's character for some reason. And they have this little affair. He keeps pissing off, I think, her husband.
Her husband. Yeah.
And I wanted almost that part of the plot to have more of a payoff. It kind of didn't take us anywhere, really. He got money
Yeah.
from her.
Yeah, I agree. It was almost like she was the deus ex machina of, oh, he needs the money to get here. Well, here's his in to get it or to get the access with her husband, you know?
Right.
It's like she didn't really have her own character or purpose. She was just kind of put there as a plot device to get him to the husband.
I thought that the part of the plot with them trying to get this dog back kind of meandered a little bit.
That did meander. It went on too long. It ultimately didn't really matter to the plot
No,
much
there were a
because,
couple subplots that just didn't matter overall, you know?
yeah, he like didn't get the thing. And then Tallulah got shot. And then he left her anyway to go play ping pong.
I saw some of these side stories as maybe the consequences of a lot of his decisions and his schemes going awry and just the results of his bad actions kind of catching up and showing he's willing to put himself and other people in harm's way to try to obtain his goal or finish what he's doing.
It felt almost in a way like I was watching a sitcom and it's like, oh, this is the episode where he screws over his best friend by getting him accosted by racist rednecks. Oh, here's the episode where he gets the mother of his child shot.
You're right.
Here's the episode where he messes with his fling's play, you know? It's something that would happen in a sitcom.
You're right. I wish that this movie had stuck with the in that we
Hmm.
started. And Marty is, I think, already established as a player and is trying to both obtain enough money to keep himself going and try to increase his own stat. Keeps lying higher and higher. That sort of building and building. I think this movie really needed him to keep weaving his way through him playing and also scheming and living his life with during this tournament, and then you have that big payoff at the end where he could win or lose, and then you could have circled back with the subplot of him having his kid and wanting to be a father at the end, finally stepping up. That would have been a little bit more interesting, but I feel like, yeah, this movie meandered and that just kind of lost it for me.
Yeah, and we never even really saw like what got him into playing ping pong.
That's true.
Like, he has a business manager. What have they been doing previously?
He's made manager, then he immediately robs his career at gunpoint.
That was great. Also something that would happen in a sitcom.
You're right.
And then
actually,
he's like running through the streets of New York, like dipping into the pet store. You know.
He gets into a semi-comical fight with a cop in an apartment.
I think this movie is a collection of really like well done or funny or enjoyable scenes, but then when you mesh them all together, the story through line, it gets broken a lot.
You really could have rearranged any of the chapters of this movie and you kind of get the same experience.
Yeah, I agree. I wish they'd kept the vampire stuff in. I don't know if that was just a rumor, but apparently in the original script, Gwyneth Paltrow's husband was actually a vampire and he like ate someone at the end of the movie.
I would have loved that.
Which he did say he was a vampire at one point in the movie. It made no sense in context.
It did not, no.
It didn't sound like he was just being hyperbolic. I think he just was a vampire. I choose to believe that.
I do as well, because you're right, that did not make any sense in context. But I'm very glad I knew that they cut a vampire eating someone from the end. That made me smile.
That would have made this a 5-star movie for me. If we just go through this whole movie and then randomly vampires are real, that's everything.
But alas, this movie couldn't quite pull it off for me. This would not be my best pick.
No.
I'd give this like a 60.
I mean, I did think it was really good, if a little disjointed. I'm going higher. I'm going 80.
Okay. I'm sure you're much closer.
Oh, I'm not even trying to guess the Rotten Tomatoes score. That's just my personal score. But as far as Best Picture goes, this isn't going to win Best Picture. Timothée Chalamet is going to win Best Actor. If I got to pick Best Picture, I'd probably pick Sentimental Value now that I've seen all the Best Picture nominations.
I get that. That's a good choice.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah. You were talking about Sinners. That'd be your pick, right?
It still would, yes. Sinners overall.
Sinners is a fantastic movie. All right. So the Rotten Tomatoes score.
Yes.
For Marty Supreme, 94%.
94? Ah.
That's a little high.
That's egregious. I don't like that.
I mean, I would recommend this movie, but I think you have to be aware of your tolerance for certain things and certain kinds of people. Because, yeah, this dude is pretty insufferable, and he's supposed to be, but, if you don't want to see an insufferable dude getting into sitcom-y situations with, good shots and great acting, then you might not like it.
My final thought on this is what I really wanted out of this movie was what Challengers did, going back to my tennis slip-up earlier, where Challengers was just tennis, full throttle, pretty much the whole movie. if we had that with the same kind of acting we were getting out of Timothy Chalamet, but just table tennis the
Mhm.
whole time, full throttle, I would have really loved that movie.
So what you're saying is that Luca Guadagnino should have directed Marty Supreme.
Honestly, yes.
I would have loved that.
He can do the sequel.
There you go.
I guess there's room for a prequel. Let's do it.
Honestly, I think there is. I was curious to know how he got into all this.
For the prequel, we can get that kid from Adolescence to play young
Oh
Chalamet.
God. He'd probably kill it.
But yeah, not the worst movie ever.
No, I'm gonna say worth the hype, but proceed with caution.
Solid meh from me. All right, movie number 3. Bring it on.
Okay, the next movie was Eternity.
Now, how did you like this movie?
I thought it was pretty good. I wasn't like bored. I didn't think the story was like disjointed in tone or theme or anything.
Compared to
But
Marty Supreme, I would agree.
yeah, I just wasn't always 100% gripped by the plot. I do think maybe I had different expectations of this movie. Maybe I thought it was going to be funnier.
You're right. If this movie had a little bit more of a comical theme to it, this would have gripped me a little bit more. I could not really get invested into this. I kept mentioning it when we were watching this, saying, I've already seen The Good Place. It does this story, sort of, kind of similar themes. It does it better, so I'm just not drawn in, you know?
I did think the overarching idea was intriguing because it's something I've thought about,
Sure.
like people all the time get married, someone dies, then they get remarried. And especially in like religious contexts that I grew up around,
Yeah.
I would think, well, what's going to happen to your spouse who passed away in heaven now that you have another spouse? Like what are we going to do?
The movie did portray well that I agree that that's sort of like an impossible situation. They address that a little bit in the story, but there's no right answer.
Let me tell you, the right answer was neither man.
Neither man. She should have gone to Emily in Paris World with her friend.
Yeah, she would have had a much better time.
100% agree. I would have stayed in World. Mountain World looked lovely.
Mountain World did look nice. I would go to Mountain World with you if I could have a nice big TV and all my movies in the log cabin.
Honestly, the most entertaining parts of this movie were a lot of the background, like the different eternities that people could go to, the different funny themes and little jokes they were sneaking in everywhere. That was well done. I liked that.
And I really liked Divine Joy Randolph and John Early. I liked their little
They were good. They had a good dynamic.
with the ACs.
Yes.
They were fun. I would have watched a whole movie about just those two. I might have even preferred that, honestly.
Ooh, agree.
Like, what would this scenario have looked like from their perspectives? Because, they're kind of on opposing sides, but then they've got some sort of like romantic history going. They fall in love by the end. I want to see that story,
Agreed. I think that Elizabeth Olsen gave a really good performance, and I think she was sort of channeling, I was just an old lady mannerisms back when she's kind of, back in as her younger self. I thought that was really well acted.
Yeah, I agree for sure. I did think it was interesting with her. Towards the end of the movie, she's like running through those back rooms trying to get
Yes.
back to the terminal. And we're seeing little clips of like bad times in her life and growing up and everything. And we never really touched on anything like that in the narrative.
You're right.
And I don't even think it really played into how I think the character was acting or her motivations or what she wanted. So I either think either that makes it not necessary or they just didn't flesh it out enough.
I agree. And I hate when movies do that. They give you this interesting content, but it doesn't go anywhere.
Exactly, because I thought that was really interesting. And yeah, they just dropped it.
If you're going to make your movie 2 hours long, over 2 hours long, that's true. Let us get somewhere. I almost would have liked to see the story go. It's just Elizabeth Olsen in this kind of afterlife terminal scenario, maybe dealing with past trauma and memories and past relationships, but not making the two husband thing the big decisive point of the movie. That would have, I think, held my attention more.
I agree. Yeah, because I mean, let's be real. And her performance was great, but I think the way that the writing viewed the character, she was essentially like an object for these two men.
A little bit.
Yeah. And then it wasn't until the very end of the movie where it felt like they gave her some agency.
Exactly. It was nice to see her just making a really good decision.
Yeah. And even then, the decision that should have been made is go to Emily in Paris world with your friend and don't deal with these guys. Also, I would have enjoyed this movie more if it had been more like Challengers, because those two men wanted to kiss.
They did. They were in love with each other by the end of that movie.
They
no doubt.
were. Like Miles Teller was like, you know what? I'm gonna give her to you because we're such good buddies. I'm gonna give her to you like an object.
It's a little gross, isn't it?
Yeah, I really thought I'm just now realizing this as I'm talking about it. Yeah, I really thought they were objectifying the main female character.
This movie is just a symptom of the patriarchy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I didn't like it, of course. Of course. I thought it was just sort of predictable, and I felt like I was watching a Hallmarky kind of movie.
No, that's fair because it was pretty obvious from the beginning she's gonna end up with Miles Teller.
That wasn't in question, yeah.
No. Even when it was like, no, she's gonna go with the other guy. Like, nah, that's not gonna last. Because the movie then would have just ended.
I thought everyone gave good performances.
Yeah.
Again, just the story wasn't quite there for me. It was a mildly entertaining movie. It presented some good questions, relationships and marriage and morality, things like that. It didn't touch on the interesting point enough.
Yeah, I agree. I'm gonna give this personally a 75.
Okay.
Because I really, really did like the world building. I thought it was an interesting, like, place.
I agree. This would have been a
And
better show.
yeah, and I would have loved if this movie had just been about our two ACs.
This could have been a spin-off of The Good Place as a TV show. I think that would have made that a lot better.
But yeah,
One
it
day.
loses some points from me for objectifying women and not letting the two men kiss.
See, that's why it's so good for us to talk out these here. We have these realizations. Look back and go, oh no, I hate this movie now. Or love it. Well, what are the critics saying about this movie? I'm curious. Do people love this? Do they hate it? It's kind of mid.
76%.
Yeah. Is that certified fresh? Is that over the threshold?
That is certified fresh.
The threshold?
Thresholds.
Hey, you can use that one.
So I guess I said 75%, so I've got to say it's appropriately hyped.
Sure, worth the hype. Check it out. Don't take it seriously.
The audience score is a 90%. All right, so next we watched the movie Honey Bunch, which horror movie, new on Shudder. I thought it was really good. I didn't know what to expect. I went in completely blind, and when the movie first started, I thought it was a little slow. I didn't get that into it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought there was just this switch, this scene that just flipped everything for me. But before I get into that, how did you like this movie?
I did like this. I agree. In the first maybe like quarter of the movie, I'm wondering, okay, where are we going with this? I assumed it was our main character. She has this amnesia kind of factor going on, trying to remember things and discovering repressed memories or something that has happened to her that's then going to continue on with our story. But it went there a little bit, but it went in a whole different direction that I was not expecting at all.
Same.
And thought that made it the payoff very well earned because it's big and it's ridiculous. And I love that.
The scene that really grabbed me and then I was just in was a scene where our main character, whose name was Diana, I think.
I believe so.
She was remembering a fight that she'd had with her husband. Her husband's name is Homer, by the way, and they like pull out the Odyssey at the beginning of the movie. So I feel like there's they're trying to make some kind of Odyssey comparison or something, but I really don't know what it is.
If they did, it went over my head.
Same. I'm not smart enough for that. And I could sure get into how I feel about that Christopher Nolan Odyssey so far, but
we will have quite the review of that, I'm sure.
I digress. But it's this scene. Diana is remembering a fight that she had with her husband, and it's almost like it's happening in front of her. And the camera, it's kind of like circling around, and the sound design was doing all of these like clicks and like ticking.
Yeah.
And I just thought all of those elements were really complementing each other. I thought it was a really cool scene. That sound design was excellent.
I agree.
And so yeah, that scene was so cool that when it happened, I was in. And I do feel like maybe some of that beginning stuff would be more interesting on a rewatch. I just think I found it slow because I was trying to figure out what was going on.
Yes, what the big reveal was going to be.
Because I went into this movie completely blind. I had no idea what was happening. I was sitting there being like, okay, she's sick. Wait, she has memory loss. Okay, and then we're here, and then, oh wait, but then Jason Isaacs is like doing physical therapy with his kid, but something feels weird there. And I was just trying to like figure out everything.
And then immediately, bam. No, we're cloning.
Yeah, it's a movie about clones.
I was in. I was like, oh, hell yeah.
That was so fun because she starts following one of her clones and they're like running in the woods. And I'm sitting there thinking, oh, she's hallucinating. It's kind of like when she was remembering those fights and kind of seeing a version of herself, but it was just kind of her memory.
I thought we were going to get into like she had been going to this memory care place for a lot longer or had encountered different mishaps but couldn't remember any of them. But no, there's just like 5 of her running around.
It's just clones.
They're trying to resurrect the original one after she died in an accident,
Yeah, in a
right?
car
She's just
accident.
dead.
Yeah.
And they're trying to build the clone perfectly to where our main Diana starts like having memories of her original body, I guess, before she died. And that's like the big like, oh, we did it. We perfected the clone.
Yes, exactly.
I'm glad they left the actual like here's how we clone them just kind of ambiguous because that would just weigh down the reveal.
Agree. Yeah, I didn't need to know the science of how they were cloning. We did get the one scene where they were like pulling a clone out of, it felt like a wet, viscous like bath, and then they were like pulling the umbilical cord out of his belly button.
I thought that was neat.
So it had something to do with that. But yeah, we didn't. I don't need to know the exact stuff. I'm not a scientist. I'm not smart enough to care.
Now, she put up with that husband for far too long. He was the worst.
He was upsetting me so much because before we found out about the clones, I was sitting there like, oh, this is some kind of thing that the husband orchestrated. I truly thought he brought his wife there and like had her lobotomized.
Yeah.
Because what we're set in the 70s, 80s?
I believe so.
Which
70s, yeah.
crime let's lobotomize a woman era.
Quite possibly. I agree. I thought that's where we were going with that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, she probably like, talked back to him or disagreed with him, wasn't just a dutiful little housewife. And so he got her lobotomized. That's truly where I thought it was going. But nope. Clones.
Cloning.
And then once we learn about the cloning stuff, the husband, you understand his motivations more, and then you see him like really trying to take care of all the clones, and you're like, okay, maybe he is a nice person. But I don't know. I found out actually the 2 actors, they're married.
The actual Diana and her actual husband there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Jason Isaacs was good in this movie. His kind of story didn't actually really add anything, did it?
It really didn't.
He's there with his daughter he's trying to bring back.
Yeah, I don't think it really needed to be there at all, honestly. I think what it added was he was there in the beginning, kind of adding to the creepiness of the whole place and like some of the mystery, because there's something off about him. Like,
yes.
Honestly, for a minute, I was like, is that his daughter? Is that his girlfriend? Is that some gal he just kidnapped? Like, he's doing something weird here. But then it became apparent he's like, I don't know what the sports term is for it, but like a stage parent. Because he kept overworking his clone daughter to the point where the bodies kept breaking because he just kept trying to get her back into, what was she, like a swimmer?
I think so.
Like get her back to that, peak athlete swimmer position. And then I guess he was a plot device at the end to burn the whole thing down.
True. Yeah, I thought it was interesting the different versions of the clones that they showed and how they had changed over time. That was well done.
Yeah, and they all seem to kind of have their own little personality.
Yeah, and relationship with the husband.
Yeah, because, you had the one who was bedridden, and she seemed like the smart one who knew all the stuff. That's probably why it seemed like the husband got along the most with her. They were probably having conversations about the Odyssey and stuff like that.
True.
And then there's the one who doesn't really know what's going on, kind of flighty. And then, of course, the one that is violent and aggressive and hates him because all she remembers are the fights that they had.
Love it. She was my favorite. Now, this movie was cool and unique. I did not expect that twist. That made it a winner for me. I think this was probably my favorite movie of this week.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it.
Probably this was like kind of an indie movie. Is that right? It didn't seem like this was too expensive to make.
Yeah, it probably didn't cost too much to make. It was like a Shudder original, I'm gonna say.
Okay.
But yeah, really cool idea. Didn't see that twist coming.
I was a fan. Yeah, big thumbs up from me. I'd give this. I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna give this a 90.
A 90?
Worth the hype.
88. On Rotten Tomatoes, this has a 91%.
Boom.
So yeah, worth the hype, I would say as well. Okay, last one. It's another 2026 horror release. We Bury the Dead, starring Daisy Ridley, Rey Skywalker herself.
How do you like Daisy Ridley as an actor?
I think she's a really good actor.
I don't think she's utilized enough to the best for her, to like her full ability, you know?
No, I have thought in the past her American accent could use work, but I thought it was good here, so.
Why'd they make her American in this movie? There was no need.
Because the
her
whole
boyfriend
issue was America's
Australian.
fault. And what other country would do something like that?
True.
I think there was supposed to be some tension there, and they touched on it a little bit that, oh, she's going to Australia now to help these people, and a lot of people were like, well, I don't want anything to do with you. You're American. You got us into this situation. But there was only like one or two like throwaway lines.
Yeah, you're right. They did not touch on it very much.
So it felt like they did that so they could make it a thing, but then they didn't make it a thing. And that's going back to your point that you talked about previously.
Mm-hmm.
It's so frustrating when a movie drops like an interesting theme in front of you and then they just don't expand on it.
Yeah. Like, why was that introduced at all in the first place, you know? It didn't do anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the idea, because I think this was actually pretty realistic, of this was in Tasmania, I believe, was the place, which was much more developed than I had expected. I thought that was mostly wilderness. But at any rate, I liked the idea of we're just bringing in civilians to come find and clean up bodies. But oh yeah, some of them might just wake up and be zombies.
I always think it's wild that in stories like this, the people, the civilians, are never calling them zombies. If that actually happened, I'd be calling them zombies, you'd be calling them zombies, we'd all be calling them zombies.
No doubt.
If the powers that be were trying to coin a different word, we'd all still be saying zombie.
But no, for this one, they are ones who have come back online.
Yeah, so there was this nuclear blast that America like accidentally drops on this whole island, and it kills 500,000 people. But some of them are just randomly waking up. They tried to say maybe it was because of unfinished business, but that just doesn't sound right to me.
I agree, yeah.
If that is the case, I think that's stupid.
I'll say I was not a fan of kind of the main motivation for Daisy Ridley is she was having this very rough patch with her husband and they had this big fight. Even though she knows everyone in the vicinity is dead and she was there to like help clean up. no, he might still be alive at like the epicenter of the blast. I'm going to break the like protocol and barrier and or break the quarantine and go to this resort to find him.
I think it's wild that the soldiers and everyone were just instructed to shoot them in the head
Yeah.
if they woke up, because I just don't think that would be the case. Like, wouldn't you want to take them somewhere and maybe study what's going wrong and maybe find a cure or something?
Nope, shoot him.
Like, because you can't even study their brain if you shoot them.
I think they portray that they expect the zombies, let's call them, to be violent, so it's like don't approach them or anything. But Daisy Ridley approaches a couple and sometimes they like almost kind of scared or they're hiding, but they're not.
Yeah, they're not always violent.
Brainless monsters now. I thought that was an interesting take, but we didn't get too much of that other than the one part of the story where she's hiding out in that camper and the father of a family who died wakes up, buries his family. I thought that scene was really well done.
It was.
Showed that they retained a lot of humanity.
Yeah, I would have liked to see more of that, but like another movie we watched this week, this one liked to go off on tangents.
Yes, it did.
It's like Daisy Ridley is trying to get from point A to point B, but then she keeps meeting these dudes and having to deal with them. And the middle of the movie, there's this way too long sequence where a military guy like kidnaps her and tries to make her dress like his wife and everything. And I was real uncomfortable.
Me too, yeah.
And it went on way too long. It completely just halted all of the zombie momentum. Look, when in a movie a man kidnaps a woman that way, and there's especially this also element of him dressing her like his wife.
He's been shown to be like kind of unstable and violent, and then he's immediately like trauma dumping on her.
Yeah, like we have just added a completely new element of danger to this situation that just feels icky. And I'm sure that was the point, but I just think it halted the momentum of the zombie movie. And even though this feels like it was supposed to be, you know, a zombie movie that's more cerebral and making you, you know, think about life and values and stuff.
More that than like an actiony Resident Evil style zombie movie.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think it was supposed to be actiony, but I still think this whole sequence just halted everything.
And unfortunately, that was sort of the main chunk. Like, that was the big middle chunk of the movie, you know?
Yeah, like when I think of the movie, that feels like most of it, honestly.
I suppose that sequence helped our character, like, step up. She starts defending herself. She kills that guy.
We got that cool scene in the barn.
That was my favorite scene in the movie where she knows she's caught. She decides to play the wife again to this guy, but she's standing in front of all, like, I think it's his relatives maybe. He's got chained up in his barn or something like that in front of all the zombies. That was really cool.
Well, and her face too, as she was looking out, it was almost like she was one of the zombies, and it was cool.
Good comparison. Yeah, I like that. She eventually gets to the resort where her husband's staying. She kills the guy that kidnapped her. She, for some reason, runs back into the Australian boy.
The motorcycle guy.
The motorcycle guy who was helping take her down south to this resort. But when the kidnapper shows up, he, I guess, chases him off or something. He runs away.
Yeah.
I don't know how he found her or came back, but they reunite at the end. And she kills a couple zombies. I guess maybe she's able to use violence to defend herself a little bit more easily now. Maybe that's part of that, where that middle story came from.
Yeah, I guess that was the point.
She finds her husband's corpse and kind of has closure with that, acknowledges that, like, I think she says she cheated on him. She
Yeah.
found that he was with someone else when they died.
Seemed like they were broken up when
Yeah,
he
she
died.
still had unresolved feelings and stuff maybe about that, or I mean, they were still married.
Oh, you said unresolved. That made me. They're all like, they've got unresolved business. They're waking up because they've got unfinished business. He didn't have unfinished business. She's the one who had to resolve her unfinished
Oh.
business.
Hey, there you go.
You saying the word unfinished or unresolved really pulled that out.
There you go. Look at us dissecting these movies. We're good at this. No, I liked this movie. I thought it could have leaned into the zombie horror aspects of it.
Because when they did, it was cool.
It was good. The designs were really creepy and cool looking.
The mouths.
Yeah, the scraping and clicking of the teeth gave me the icks every time. I liked the one. It was actually a dream sequence. We had a couple of dream sequences for some reason where I believe the husband as a zombie like quickly turns the corner and was like screaming at her. That was creepy and well done. There's the one zombie on a bridge who looks at her and then takes off after her at full sprint. I'm like, hell yeah, fast zombies. That was kind of it, though.
Yeah. Yeah, all the zombie stuff was really, really cool. And then I don't think the ending stuck the landing because she's with the motorcycle guy. We find out the motorcycle guy has an ex and a daughter who don't want anything to do with him.
Mm-hmm.
So he thinks that if he goes and plays hero, that they'll care, and they don't. And then Daisy Ridley, we learn, wanted to have a baby, but was having trouble. And then the guy who kidnapped her, the soldier, had a pregnant wife who he had kept, and she was a pregnant zombie. It felt very 28 years later.
It
because
did.
Then she gives birth, and it's a human baby. And Daisy Ridley's like, I'm going to go take my attacker's baby and raise it as my own with this motorcycle man. I'm assuming that's what we're supposed to get from the ending.
He must have bailed immediately.
Oh,
but you're
yeah,
right.
He's a deadbeat.
He's a deadbeat, first and foremost. But you're right. The zombie baby thing at the end kind of threw me for a loop. I don't know why we had to make a trying to have a baby story for Daisy Ridley being like one of her motivators, or was necessary to like humanize her, you know?
Yeah. Like, I guess it was.
But I guess it works. It makes sense.
Reason that they gave for her cheating, but I honestly don't even know why they threw her cheating in there.
You're right.
It didn't really matter, in my opinion.
Really, the main plot is she's just trying to find her husband, but that's kind of it. It doesn't go much deeper than that. And I wish it would have. It had a lot of interesting beginnings here. Like I said, I think the zombies were the strongest point in this movie.
The zombies were so cool. I wanted more zombies. Like, I know that this movie was trying to be more serious, but if they had just gone full schlocky zombie flick, I think I would have liked it a lot more.
Because Daisy Ridley played this very well.
Yeah, she was great.
I would like to see more performances, especially kind of more action-y performances out of her, because she did quite a lot in this movie that's outside of Star Wars.
Man, do you remember her movie that we watched last year called Magpie?
Oh yeah, the Good for Her movie.
Oh, that was so good. She was great in that. I was really into that movie.
I agree. Yeah, this movie was pretty good. I wanted more out of it, but I think it had a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I would give this a 73% with a heart.
I'm going 75 with no heart.
No heart.
Because I probably wouldn't rewatch this. I give hearts to movies that I would probably rewatch.
I'd be curious to see. They probably are not making any more of these.
No. I want to see those zombies
I
again,
know.
though. That was so cool.
If they continue what they've set up and are able to pull it off, that actually would be interesting, but I think this is kind of more of a one-off.
Yeah,
And
I think so.
Unfortunately, it didn't go big enough if it was
No.
wanting to be a one-off, so hey, time will tell.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, this has an 88%.
I can see it.
But now the audience score is a 46%.
Oh, big difference. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, like, I'm more in the middle of those two. I mean, I would say to watch it just because the creepy scenes were really creepy and the zombies were really, really cool.
I'm trying to recall. Do you remember if the trailer was portraying more of those action-y scenes to hype up the movie?
Yes.
Because, like we said, if it was more of that throughout, this would have earned a higher score for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think they tried to kind of pull a fast one because they knew what they were dealing with when making a trailer. Is it quite worth the hype? I would say for a zombie flick, which ultimately this is, not really.
Just watch Train to Busan.
I don't think I've seen that movie.
So good.
After Predator, we'll watch Train to Busan.
Yeah.
Have a long night. But yeah, not a bad movie. I'm sure a lot of folk enjoy this. Well, a lot of critics at least. Audience, maybe not. So maybe our audience will not.
I think it was mid, but the zombies were really, really cool. So that makes me want to say, yeah, watch it once. See those cool zombies.
But yeah, this week, a couple mids, but a few good ones too.
Yeah.
I think it was a good week overall.
I agree. I guess my favorite of these movies overall, probably Honey Bunch.
You know my favorite movie is Attack of the Clones. That is what this was. I'm right there with you.
I mean, I did like Marty Supreme. It just wasn't as cohesive, I think.
I'm actually surprised at that Best Picture nomination now that I watched the movie. That might sound kind of harsh.
Well, they do 10 nominees now.
There.
Of course, I do think if this were still a 5-year, I do still think Marty Supreme would have been in because it got director, I think it overperformed, honestly.
Oh, we will see. I'm sure I will eat my words.
Timothée Chalamet is going to win the Oscar.
I will accept it begrudgingly.
I still haven't seen Ethan Hawke in Blue Moon, but
there's always a chance. Always a chance.
Right. Well, another week down.
Few more to go.
Mm-hmm.
Almost Oscar time. All right. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.